Welcome to r/AmITheButthole, where OP accidentally sees his stepdaughter's butthole. What? Am I the butthole for telling my girlfriend I saw her daughter's butthole? I'm a 44-year-old guy, and I started dating a 45-year-old woman back in December. Her daughter, who's 20, moved down in January from out of state and is staying with my girlfriend until she gets settled. Her daughter's a good kid, we get along well, and she even gets along with my son, who's 13. A few weeks ago, the daughter asked if she could use Snapchat to send me videos of the paintings they're doing in the house, videos of their dog, etc. Later, my girlfriend mentioned a picture of one of the dogs that her daughter posted on Instagram. Knowing that many people use the same username across multiple platforms, I did a Google search using her Snapchat username. The second search result was her Reddit profile. I think, oh cool, I love Reddit, and I click the link to her profile. It turns out she uses Reddit to post pictures for her OnlyFans page. I see a thumbnail of what can only be described as a type of picture you might see at a proctology office. I closed the page and went back to the Google search results and read the summaries on the links instead of just looking at the domain like I was before. All of the links were related to her OnlyFans content, mixed in with her personal info. Anyone who's been on the internet for a while knows that this is a recipe for disaster. Hell, I'm even using a throwaway for this post and it doesn't have a pic of my butthole in it. I just don't want this story associated with my main account. I talked to a few of my female friends who have daughters to see how bad it would be if I tell my girlfriend what happened. It's not like there's advice for this topic over on r/datingover40. The general consensus was that I had to tell my girlfriend due to the safety risk. Last week I told my girlfriend and I showed her how to search her daughter's username because my girlfriend isn't tech savvy at all. I showed her how it only took 4 steps to go from her daughter's OnlyFans page to the location sharing of Snapchat and then see her house. I told her, I'm not condoning what she's doing, but if she's gonna do it, then she needs to be more careful. My girlfriend told her daughter to Google her OnlyFans name, and it of course returned a lot of stuff, and the daughter freaked out. The daughter put 2 and 2 together knowing that her mom isn't savvy enough to figure this out on her own and texted me about finding it. I admitted to her about how it all went down, minus the details about finding the picture. The daughter accused me of stalking her and looking for her nudes because I must be a pervert. I explained, I didn't go looking for him, it's not like I subscribed to her OnlyFans page. But I told her, if it was that easy for me to find her pictures, then it would be just as easy for a stranger to find her in real life too. Like I told my girlfriend, it's one thing to show your bits online for strangers. It's another thing when they knock on your door. So now my daughter thinks I'm a creep that went looking for her nudes. My girlfriend isn't talking to me, and I need to know if I'm the butthole here for telling my girlfriend. OP, you're not the butthole here. When you do a Google search of someone's name, the last thing you expect to see is that person's butthole. So you searching the daughter's name is perfectly innocent. It's not like you specifically went snooping to find her naughty photos. They were just there, out in the public for anyone to see. Honestly, I'm amazed that someone in 2021 can be this oblivious when it comes to online privacy. Why on earth would you use the same username for your OnlyFans and your personal Snapchat? And then post pictures of your house on that Snapchat? Oh my god. OP, I think you did the right thing here. That being said, no good deed goes unpunished, and I think that's definitely the case here. I would be very surprised if your relationship survives this. I can't blame the girlfriend for never wanting to be around you again, and I can't blame the daughter for never wanting to see you again either. So, unfortunately, OP, I think that your relationship is probably dead after that one. OP, you deserve 0 out of 5 buttholes on this story. Am I the butthole for no longer allowing my sister to work in my daycare after what she did? Hi, I'm a 32-year-old widow. I've been a widow for 3 years. I've struggled a lot financially. I didn't get help from my family because they claim they can't help me, so I decided to start a home daycare. It's been open for 7 months now. My friend was able to get me more clients via Facebook. Thank goodness my business is growing, and I've made quite a lot of friends who are moms, and I've also established a good reputation since my daycare has been recommended. My sister, who's 26, is unemployed. She couldn't find a job, and she has to pay rent for her and her boyfriend. My parents suggested that I let her come work with me at my daycare, and I accepted since she has some experience. She got along with the other workers, and things were going fine. Until she came to me asking about a specific child that comes to our daycare. He's 4 and very well behaved for his age. I was confused after she complained about him. She said that she saw his dad come to pick up the child, and she didn't feel comfortable because he's a cop, and my sister had an unpleasant incident with the police. She's still in therapy because of that incident, and she struggles a lot with it. She wanted me to let the child go from my daycare and tell the parent to look for another daycare. The cop usually arrives at 3 p.m. to pick up the kid. From what I understand, the guy's wife is sick. I turned my sister down. I have no good reason to let the child go. My sister refused to drop it and started being mean to the dad. It was unprofessional of her. I told her she either has to be respectful or I won't have her work with me anymore. 2 days ago, my sister sent an email to the dad telling him that we won't be welcoming his kid at the daycare anymore. He came to talk to me, and I was livid when I saw the email. The cop asked why his kid was kicked out, and he said that his kid wanted to stay because he's made friends with some other kids. He talked about not being able to find a daycare closer than ours. I lashed out at my sister and told her she's no longer able to work at my daycare because of her behavior. We got into an argument, and she left after saying that I was being unsupportive and inconsiderate. My parents called me, saying that I shouldn't have kicked my sister out, and now I'm causing her to lose her apartment. They argue that I have no regard for my sister's trauma, and I should have let the child go and support her because she's my sister. Everyone shamed me and claimed that I have messed up priorities. I do feel that I was in the wrong for letting her struggle without a job, but I have no reason to let go of that child also. OP, not the butthole here. I'm giving you 0 out of 5 buttholes. Your sister can't just come into your business and unilaterally make decisions about who can and can't be a client there. That's your decision, not hers. You're doing your sister a favor, and she repays that favor by undermining you? Nah, she gets 3 out of 5 buttholes on that one. Am I the butthole for making my son eat leftovers when everyone else had his favorite meal? I'm a 34-year-old male, and my wife and I have 2 kids, Adam, who's 12, and Jasmine, who's 8. My wife and I both came from cultures where rich people wasted a ton of food while there were people starving just around the corner. So we're very conscious about food waste. Also, I've seen relatives with kids who were extremely picky eaters, and it wasn't something I wanted to deal with. So when Adam was old enough to start being fussy about his food, we introduced a new rule. If you don't finish your dinner, it's going to be your breakfast the next day. This was mainly to get him to finish his vegetables. When he was old enough, he started picking his own serving sizes so we weren't forcing him to eat extra. My wife and I are both good cooks, so he enjoys and finishes most of his meals promptly. We kind of forgot about the rule for a while until Jasmine started becoming fussy recently, so we introduced it again. To make it fair, Adam is also doing it. Last night, he overserved himself and couldn't finish a lot of his food. This morning, my wife's family came over for breakfast. My wife wanted to treat them, so she made her special French toast and homemade croissants. This is Adam's favorite meal, which he got excited for. But when we sat down for breakfast, he was shocked to find a plate full of leftovers waiting for him. His face got gloomy and he ate in silence. He was too full by the end to eat any of their breakfast. After breakfast, her parents berated us for being cruel and torturing him. We defended ourselves by saying that it would be unfair on Jasmine if her brother gets to avoid his leftovers, but she never does. Now I think that I could have been the butthole because he's been really good about eating his food recently. Also, we could have just made him finish it for lunch. So, Reddit, am I the butthole? Yeah, OP, I'll definitely say that you're the butthole here. In your defense, though, you're not going to get like a major butthole rating. That being said, you're like a butthole in multiple different categories. So, first of all, it was unreasonable to make him stick by this rule because this was a special occasion. This wasn't just some normal breakfast, this was a special family get-together, and you basically punished him in front of the whole family? That was really excessive. Also, you're saying that Adam has to follow the rule to be fair to Jasmine. Well, the thing is, Adam is 12 and Jasmine is 4. So, logically speaking, Adam's already had to endure this rule for like 4 years now. You said yourself that you stopped implementing the rule for Adam because he'd been so much better about eating recently. So basically Adam has been showing good behavior, but he made one really silly mistake. I mean, it's not even like he was being a picky eater. He accidentally overserved himself and then just couldn't finish everything on his plate. So Adam's being a good kid and he makes a dumb mistake and your response is to punish him? Why? It kind of sounds like you're trying to be fair to Jasmine at the expense of being unfair to Adam. On top of all that, there's the added embarrassment of you punishing him in front of his grandparents. OP, you should have just given him the leftovers to eat during lunch. Poor Adam gets 0 out of 5 buttholes. OP, I'm giving you, let's say, 1.5 out of 5 buttholes. Also, OP, word of advice, try not to use food as a form of punishment because that's how kids develop eating disorders. Am I the butthole for telling my wife that she has to be at my graduation an hour before she needed to because she's always late for things? I'm a 27-year-old guy, and I've been with my 27-year-old wife for 8 years. For 5 of those years, I was in the military, and I developed the habit of being early for everything. It's a huge pet peeve of mine if people are late for things when they could have been on time. If something happens out of your control and you're late, then I totally understand. My wife is the type of person who's always late. Throughout our relationship, she's made us late for events, and it's been embarrassing. One of the worst incidents was when I was home on leave. We were planning on meeting my mom for breakfast, who I hadn't seen in 2 years, at 9 a.m. I told my wife the day before that I want to leave our place at 8:30 so we could get there at 8:50. We both wake up at 7 a.m. and I'm ready at 8 a.m. At that point, she hasn't even started to get ready. I remind her multiple times that we need to leave by 8:30, but she just kept saying, "We have time and I'll be fast." She didn't start getting ready until 8:30. Long story short, we were an hour late and we lost our reservation because of it. I was pissed, but I kept it to myself until we got home. I told her that I hated that she always made us late and it could be embarrassing sometimes. She apologized and said that she would work on it, but it never got any better. If anything, she would get short with me if I mentioned the time. Fast forward 3 years and I was graduating the police academy. The graduation was set to begin at 10 a.m. and people could start showing up at 9:15. Well, knowing my wife and not wanting her to walk in late, I told her the graduation started at 9:15 and she had to be there at 8:30 to find parking. Well, sure enough, I see her driving in at 9:15. Of course, I was a little pissed, but glad that my plan worked. The rest of the graduation went as planned and I was happy. Afterwards, a group of us and our spouses went out to celebrate. At one point, my wife mentions that she was lucky the ceremony got pushed back or she was going to be late. My friends were confused and told her that they saw her car and that she showed up right on time. My wife then asked what time the ceremony was supposed to start. They all said 10 a.m. At that point, my wife just stared at me and I knew she was pissed. When we got home, my wife blew up on me. She said that she was pissed that I lied to her and didn't understand why I did what I did. I told her that I knew that she would be late, so I told her a slightly earlier time to be safe. She said that she was hurt and felt that I manipulated her. This is where I might be the butthole. I said, "How do you think I feel? I told you that graduation started at 9:15 and you were still late. You knew how hard I worked to get through academy and you couldn't even be on time for this one occasion." She got quiet and just said that she's going to bed. She's barely spoken to me over the last couple of days, and I don't know if I was too harsh. So, am I the butthole? OP, your wife is systematically rude and disrespectful to you and everyone else that she has appointments with. If I had been deployed on military duty and I came back to America to my mom who I hadn't seen in 2 years, if my wife was running late, I'd just leave without her. OP, you get 0 out of 5 buttholes. Your wife gets 2 out of 5 buttholes. Am I the butthole for not wanting to leave my own apartment? I'm a 28-year-old guy, and I've been friends with my roommate, a 25-year-old female, ever since we were babies. Our families were neighbors and we grew up together. She's like a little sister to me, and she always has been. After she graduated college, she moved to the same city I currently work in, and since she couldn't find an apartment close enough to where she worked, I told her she could live with me. We'd share bills and become roommates. We've never really had problems or fights because we've known each other for so long. However, recently, things have taken a strange turn. She got involved with someone from her work. This guy seemed to be a nice guy. I'd only ever spoken to him 3 times because they usually kept to her room. But he was really friendly, and honestly, I was happy she found someone who seemed that nice. After a few months into the relationship, she sent me a text saying that she had to talk to me. She told me that while she enjoyed living with me, her boyfriend was starting to get jealous of his woman living with another man. At first I raised an eyebrow, but I thought our living situation wasn't that uncommon. So I was like, "Oh, it's fine. Just let me know when you plan on leaving. Hope you two find a good place." However, apparently I was wrong. She told me that she wasn't leaving. She said that it was impossible to find somewhere closer to her work and that she was hoping that I would let her take the apartment instead, since my work wasn't close and all that. The thing is, I really love my apartment. It's close to the gym, the grocery store, to pretty much everything. I'm not gonna leave my apartment because of something this stupid, and I told her flat out that this wasn't gonna happen. She got visibly upset and started to rant about me being an egotistical butthole, that I didn't have empathy to put myself in her shoes. This happened a few days ago, and she shut herself in her room, only leaving to go to work or to pick up her boyfriend, who became really unfriendly to me after that. Now, a lot of times I can be a butthole, but I don't think this was one of those times. So I thought that I would ask for Reddit's verdict. Am I really such a butthole? Down in the comments, MeatCube says what I was thinking. Let me get this straight. You've known her for over 2 decades. You welcome her into your home, and now she expects you to leave so she can live with her jealous boyfriend that she's just gotten on with? Not the butthole, bro. She is. Big time. Look at how she treats someone who's like a sibling. Yeah, I agree, OP. Really weird position from this girl. When you get right down to it, what she's really saying is that you need to move out because her commute is too important. If she wants a new apartment, she can pack up her entitlement and leave. I will say though that even though this is some pretty awful behavior from your friend, you've known her for 2 decades, so I think you should probably give her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe her jealous boyfriend is dripping poison in her ear and making her think this way. Considering how close you two are, I think it's probably worth trying to work out instead of letting a petty squabble ruin your relationship. Hopefully your friend can see the light, especially if you show her this Reddit thread with every single person here backing you up and calling her the butthole. You get 0 out of 5 buttholes, she gets 2 out of 5 buttholes. That was r/AmITheButthole, and if you like this content, check out my Patreon where I publish extra episodes. Also, hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit videos every single day.